Cholula is near Puebla, which is east of Mexico City, a couple of hours east, and it has the largest pyramid in the world. It's bigger than the Great Pyramid, it's bigger than any other ones. It's outrageous. We've made a video about it before, you can see that here. So we're just looking at the main courtyard here on the south side of Cholula. So this is like not even the lowest level, it goes lower than this. And you can see this Olmec type head down there. If you stand in the middle there, you can actually clap and get this whole reverberating sound all around it. And so this was a multiple level like step pyramid, but it had many different features and areas that went underground, which you can see over there. So we've got another view of the courtyard here. And you can see that kind of stele which faces east on the left, and it's got like the kind of Olmec type colossal head. Now that's the direction of Olmec land, and it makes me wonder if that was placed there specifically. Yeah, I mean, the fact that this is the largest pyramid in the world is pretty amazing. People don't even realize that. They think it's the Great Pyramid or they think it's Teotihuacan, but no, this is by far the largest. But we're here today mainly to see the new museum, because in the previous video we looked at the old museum and what was on display there. They have a Quetzalcoatl exhibition on now, and they have some artifacts that weren't on display before. So we're very excited and just want to introduce you to where we are now. It's a huge complex. It was under construction when we were here in January 2018, and now it's completed. So let's get in and take a look and see what they've got here at the museum at Cholula. So just getting some close-ups of these statues that have been found at the site. Interesting headdresses. And you can see some of the designs, almost like a goddess figure, this one. This one here showing the breasts. This one here looks a bit stressed. This one here's got an amazing headdress, it's almost like something from Tula. So what's left of one of the statues here. Very, very interesting already. We just come into the... We actually have Olmec evidence here at Cholula, which to me is amazing. That kind of backs up my theory that this was indeed built by the Olmecs. Now these may be Olmec as well. Yeah, these are Olmec. You can see around the side of this vase here. Carvings on that, and the one above. I'll get some close-up photos so you can see that more clearly. Obviously the jade Olmec figure and the face, and these pieces here. So these could go back to at least 1500 BC, although these pieces are around 600 BC. So we have evidence of Olmec activity here going into the Teotihuacan era, then the Mayas, and then the Tolteca, Azteca, all the way up to the very late Aztec, going into the Spanish era. So obviously this is the most interesting to us, having the Olmec figurines. And this is sort of classic era, which I think is linked with Teotihuacan. This is after Teotihuacan, these ones. And then it goes into the Maya era, then the Azteca, other eras here, various artifacts. These small figurines here, some of these are very interesting. So we have a lot of these stone heads here at Cholula. This is made from basalt, actually from the mountain, from the volcano, which is located near to Cholula. So we're in the second part of the museum here, and there's lots of mentions of the Olmecs now. Now, this wasn't in the other museum. I think they're realizing the Olmecs may have been part of the very early phase of this, going back at least 2,000, possibly 3,000 years. There's lots of connections with Quetzalcoatl here as well. There was said to be a jade statue at the top of the pyramid that was even witnessed a few hundred years ago by a missionary or a traveler. So it was definitely dedicated to Quetzalcoatl, and even there's legends before that of the Quetzalcoatl giants who made Teotihuacan actually built this first in honor of Quetzalcoatl. Of course, the Quetzalcoatl could be the Olmecs. So there's a really interesting Quetzalcoatl statue here. Let's have a quick look at that. You can just see this is like almost like something you find at the Pyramid of Quetzalcoatl in Teotihuacan. See the mouth open there. Absolutely amazing. This is made of like tufa or basalt. So this is like made from the volcano. And it would have been protruding out of the side of the pyramid. This is very similar to what we find at Olmec sites. We find that at Levanta, some of the pyramids there, they had these kind of long stones coming out with heads on the end of them. Also at Teotihuacan. So all of these sort of pottery may be linked with Quetzalcoatl. They all show kind of symbols of a serpent kind of going around the edge with a solar symbol in the middle. Something JJ is fully knowledgeable about. And again, we've got like the serpent skin. We've got this as well. It looks like it's got serpentine carvings or paintings all over it. So these are all linked with the Toltecs, who were also here after the Olmecs. So we have all sorts of obsidian, different spearheads. We've got an amazing statue there. Now these look super ancient, but these were actually produced by the Olmecs and the Toltecs and the Cholulan people of this area. So we've got classic kind of shaped obsidian. We have these remarkable blades. We have these sort of spearheads, kind of weighing devices. And we have this guy here, who I think is a representation of one of the artisans of Cholula. Amazing selection of really well preserved pottery that was found here at the largest pyramid in the world. A few examples here to show you. We've got the classic kind of spiral motif on some of these, serpentine reliefs. Other symbols here, which I believe are symbols and not just patterns. And they were marking their symbology all over everything they created. Got some kind of creature there on that one, that's kind of strange. And here, this is the classic kind of Mayan symbol that we find all over Mexico. The Mixteca, or the Mixtec culture was here as well. Here's some of their pieces. These came obviously much later. This is a chacmul. Now this is like the sacrificial kind of statue. Now the head's kind of missing, but you can see the arm coming up there. The head kind of would have gone on there. And then the sacrificial area is kind of there. And that's really interesting because we only usually find these at Toltec sites like Tula or the early phase of Chichen Itza, which was actually before the Maya. And so it's very, very intriguing that we find this particular type of statue here, even at Cholula. We have a representation of Tlaloc. These two images here, these two kind of ceramic or stone pieces. Tlaloc is the rain god of ancient Mexico. There's some other pieces here, ceremonial pieces. So now we're in the kind of area where Spanish conquistadors, all their pieces and artifacts are on display. These are the guys that came in with Hernan Cortez, 1519, and overtook Cholula, overtook the whole of Mexico eventually. But Cholula was one of the key points, key areas where they took over because the Cholulans welcomed them. They believed it was a return of Quetzalcoatl, but actually it wasn't, clearly, and they got massacred by the Spanish. thousands of people, up to 3,000 in some estimates, recorded to have been slaughtered, including women and children, by the Spanish. So we're just leaving two rooms of this museum. We're now going to go into this contemporary Quetzalcoatl exhibition, which I really want to see because there's some amazing artwork here as well. So you can see some of the artwork kind of behind me. This is all kind of contemporary but based on ancient myths and stories. But really, Quetzalcoatl was the great god of Cholula. This pyramid was built in his honor, potentially by the Olmecs or the Quinametsin giants. There's links with the Toltecs here. And Cholula, to me, is like the Omphalos, is possibly the most important site in ancient Mexico, beyond Teotihuacan or Chichen Itza or anything like this. And it could have been the influence for many, many pyramids we see today, and ideas that spread from here because it was so huge. It was such a vast population here, going at least back at several thousand years, potentially to the era of the Olmecs when they spread from the Gulf Coast to towards Mexico City. So we have great artworks here. Even a kind of mosaic made of stones on the floor. Just walking into a second room with the artwork of Quetzalcoatl. This is pretty beautiful actually. This is like almost like visionary art. Kind of got a psychedelic edge to it. And this is probably the kind of artwork that was around thousands of years ago, decorating the pyramids and the temples. You can just see all this artwork either side of me here. Much of it's from Teotihuacan, there's some from some Mayan sites, like Chichen Itza, amongst others. I haven't seen the Olmec plumed serpent that we find at Levanta here yet, so they haven't represented that. But there's some other amazing pieces like this one right in front of me. So we're just exiting the museum here at Cholula. That's well worth visiting. They've got a lot more pieces here. They've got some amazing 3D constructions, reconstructions of what the pyramid would look like. And how it developed into what it is. One thing I noticed was the fact that the ash, the cloud of ash that came from the volcano must have covered it up at one time, and then vegetation grew on it. This is why when it was rediscovered, they thought it was a natural hill. So we're just leaving now, so if you get a chance to visit Cholula, please do. It's the biggest pyramid in the world. Check out our previous video here, and we'll see you next time, Megalithomaniacs.